the British crown has what they call throne, right? They have lions in representing lions. And I looked up, the Spanish crown also had, some Portuguese crown also has, it's like, it's not just only British. But lions are not in Europe. Where did they get this idea?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know. It goes back a long way. I know that, a long, long way. But I don't know why or how that has ever come about. Yeah.
So I mean, there are theories about it. Let me tell first about India. The throne, the word throne in India is translated known as Singh Asan. Singh is my last name.
Mm-hmm.
Singh means lion, literally, it means lion. And that, the throne, it means Singhasan, means the lion sits on it. Mm-hmm. Asan basically means, Asan means the seat, is the seat of the lion. That's what the throne literally means. And that's why I'm trying, my fascination is this, there is some kind of cultural connection, long time ago. I don't think it's, I initially thought maybe it's the British Raj, but it's not the case. It's been there 1,000 years ago. And it is not only in British Raj, it's also in other cultures of the Europe. And then, but they didn't have lions, so they got it from somewhere. And that
one of the British kings, I can't remember which one it was, but he has the name Richard the Lionheart.
Oh, and why is that?
I don't know. I've never bothered to look about it.
Actually, that's the one who it's true. That is when it started. This is true. So it may be they were brave, because lion is the king of the forest and they are the king. So they probably, and this is exactly the reason why they have it in India. This is exactly the reason why they also have it in India. But the whole population started, the human population apparently started from Africa. But then for some odd reasons, rather than going north to go to Europe, they went to Asia, and that too to India, and that too to South India, not to the North India. And then there was a deluge, or maybe that's like a tsunami or something. I'm just, whatever they call it, that there was Noah's Ark or something, whatever that story is. And it's a similar story in India. There is the same story in India, except the timing is different. According to Bible, this happened 4004 BC or something. The whole life started 4004 BC, which of course doesn't make any sense now from scientific perspective. But in India, the story is older. It's like 1.7 billion years ago. It's like Indians have this fascination of going through cycles of time, and it's a fascinating time, and then talk about the stars and all the astronomy. They're very fascinated with this. Every document has to be written, what were the star positions. So the good thing about that is now people can go back and say, how old was that? When were that the system? But what I'm trying to say that this, according to population genetics, 60,000 years ago, apparently this migration happened, but happened from Africa to India, and that to South India. And then everywhere else, whole of Asia and whole of Europe, everybody comes from India for some reason. So that is why I'm saying maybe your great-great-grandmother was from our place. And that's where maybe this culture comes. I guess what I'm trying to say is that some of the culture, like I come to America, I'm dressed up like an Indian here, and because I just coming from Indian program. And so I live in America, but there are certain things that you keep, there are some family jokes which are totally Indian, that other people wouldn't understand that, because, only the circumstances that you're talking about. And so I'm looking for, I mean, this has given me more convincing. The cosmological, I don't know what to mean. I mean, I know the astronomical calculations do tell that India is much older. They have the events happening much older, and they have, sometimes so crazy that I can't even believe that that's even true. because they're talking about 1.9 trillion years ago, something like that. There are some calculations that different people calculate differently, because sometimes you have multiple of thousands, and then that kind of takes you from billion to trillion. So I don't know what is right, what is wrong, but at least it is for sure that it is more than 4004 BC, and it is long before that. We know that 2 million years ago humans have been in existence. So it makes sense. But this 60,000 years ago, this population genetics telling that people moved from Africa to, for some reason, to India. Actually, it says that out of Africa into India, and then rest of the Eurasia. That's the title of this. So there may be some, what I'm saying is that there may be some cultural connections, and using this kind of argument that it's your great grandmother's place, rather than saying that we invaded you and you invaded me. It kind of divides people, saying like you did atrocity on me or whatever you did. Like you're talking about people who were British, who were more interested in money, and then they kind of created a system that they suck all the money from the poor people, and the poor people died. Who cares? They just probably were treated like animals, and it didn't even matter if it happened in Ireland and if it happened in India. The skin color also didn't matter. It seems like you said that was in 1800, this was in 1900s. So time also it didn't matter. It probably was the same system. But I think if we create this more of relationship, there is a much better feeling, at least. People feel like, that, oh, maybe we are connected. I mean, we are obviously connected. We are all human beings, so we are connected.
I think that the lion thing may be related to the fact that it is top of the food chain. That there is nothing braver and nothing braver than a lion, and a lion can is the top. Everything else can be killed by a lion, but there is nothing out there. I think it's probably something like that. That's what I think. But I'll look it up. I'll check it out.
I think that makes sense. What you're saying, that makes sense. The question is, why would Europeans not find something local to have that? Because lion was not there.
Well, no, lions were there, of course.
They were there?
The lions, well, don't forget, at the time of the Romans, they brought in animals from all around everywhere in Europe and Asia and everything. They brought animals into places like the Colosseum and had fights and combats against animals. The Romans did that back in Julius Caesar's time and Caesar's time. So back hundreds or thousands of years, they clearly knew what a lion was and where it came from and all of that. So and I suspect then the lion was known to be the bravest of all the animals.
And then maybe the connection. Well, I mean, nevertheless, that connection means they were connected to the rest of the world also. Learning all that.
I think there was a great deal of trade and a great deal of movement, and of course, Rome occupied everywhere from like England, North England, right the way through to goodness knows where on the main continent.
So all that will be very relevant to understand, because this is just one symbol of throne shown by and this is common, it seems. I don't know, I haven't really looked up in what is in Africa. I'm assuming it will be similar.
Don't forget that the Sphinx in Egypt, the statue of the Sphinx is actually like a human head on a lion's body. Back in Egyptian times, pre-Roman times, in Egyptian times. That's how I would if anyone said to me, what's a Sphinx? I would say, well, it's a human head on a lion's body. So I think back in Egyptian times, way before Roman times, then they already knew then what a lion was. So I think
and then Egyptians, even Egyptians don't have lions. I mean, the Middle East does not have lions. So, and it's very fascinating, because what you're saying, I did not really connect that way. Although I've been to Egypt and I think I saw it. In India, there is an incarnation of supposedly the supreme, whatever that is incarnated. And one of the incarnation, they're interesting, their incarnation, just like I like in the Bible, they have this, how the Genesis, the God said there be the light, and then there was light. Then they said there was a firmament of water between heaven and earth or something. It's related to water. Then there was basically water. And then I don't know, I mean, they say in a very Latinistic language, but my simple thing is then there was a microorganism, like little creatures. And then there were plants, and then there were animals. Like, so you have all these Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's like a very systematic way of light, which has to be there. Water has to be there. Then creatures have to be there. The plants have to be there, animals. And the sixth day, God made man in his own image. So sixth day and seventh day took rest. So I consider this to be a very fascinating way of writing, whatever the observation was, because they talk about what will be considered today as a very systematic evolutionary development of organisms today, including man. That I think they got it completely right about that thing. But the question is taking it literally to say that the world was created in 6 days. And sometimes people who get too much carried away, it's every culture. In India also, they get carried away with this number of years. They talk about, we are from the beginning of the humanity, or not humanity, everything, whatever that is started, because we can count 1.9 trillion years. I mean, just because you count something doesn't mean it exists that way. On the other hand, then we also need to, what I was saying, that in India, they have this incarnation. So the first incarnation is, the first incarnation is something lives in the water. First incarnation is that a turtle, then that is of a fish, and then that is a boar, and then that is a half lion and half man. What I mean, I'm just getting to this all in. So they also have this. They also have this evolutionary way of moving up in animals kingdom. They're talking about animal kingdom, but they start with the turtle, then the fish. There is still all starting in water, and then there is the boar that can be in water or outside, and then there is this half lion, half man, and which is supposed. And then then of course man becomes more like a forest dweller type of thing, and then becomes more civilized, and so you have all these 10 incarnations. Out of that, 9th one is supposed to be Buddha. The 9th incarnation is supposed to be Buddha, who is meditating and very wisdom, wise, and things like that. So they also have their own creation. I mean, all these things make sense. So what I was saying is that Sphinx is one of those.
Yes.
Connected to that. So it's like there is a knowledge system that people use. I think that we are human beings. We have this way of modeling our understanding. I think that's how I see it. And what you're saying, lion is brave. So, people, once they learn, it doesn't matter whether they was in their place or not, they probably were connected and they knew this, and they kind of use that as a symbol. And the same way is like a sphinx is being used as a symbol, or many other things in the world have been used as a symbols, including some of the writings have also used as a symbol. I think, these are the things that really get me more excited. That's why I'm saying that we can create a science that is more by not what we don't know, is what kind of learning we can have from something that we do not know. And but at least the least it will do, it make us humble, that we do not know a whole lot of things. So let's not claim too many things, like what normally you say, that a lot of people claim this and that and that. That's why I said that you have this some kind of mystery of looking at or knack of looking at something that other people don't see, because it's not there. People start saying things what they see, and they think that they have solved the problem, but then you find like, oh, what about this thing? What about that thing? You find some evidence going into some bizarre place and say, well, they have been doing like this, or you just found this complex. Apparently they knew this before. We think that we have solved the problem, but they said, no, they knew this thing long before.
They knew this a long time ago. Yeah.
That's why I'm saying I think it's very important to create, while we are on this earth and we have this experience, and we are in a very interesting time. Can do a lot of search at home. We can do on computer, can find a lot of things that way. And then also we can connect to all kind of people, with the reflections all over the world, which is what really fantastic. And that's why I'm recording this, because I have a program called Across the World, which is like we want to talk to ordinary people, like because Andy, the extraordinary people always claim extraordinary thing. They have to, because they are extraordinary, right? And it is really the value is that when ordinary person does something, which is what is going to be more important, not that extraordinary people. I mean, you are a king, you're going to claim all kind of things. If you are a president, you're going to appear like you control everything. But the point is, reality is somewhere not there, because an ordinary person cannot follow that. An ordinary person like you and me, we can talk about something like this. So what do you have to say about that? And that will be end of it.
No comment. There you are. That's my final comment.
That makes perfect. That's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, there are so many things to think about which we don't know.
Yeah.
Because real knowledge, real value is what we don't know. Absolutely. And we need to focus on it. Yeah. Perfect answer. Thank you.